Week 17 is completely done. We are 1 week left in the regular season. Gentlemen, how was your New Year's Eve? How's the start to your New Year's Eve, your New Year's?
Yeah, it was real good. Opened some gifts for Christmas. Then you had New Year's. I still got my tree. I gotta go ahead and put that away. But
Oh,
Happy
don't
New
say
Year,
that.
man.
Don't say that around my grandma, man.
But
It's
it's
bad
it's Kobe
luck, Kendall.
it's Kobe year 2024. So man, the Black Mama year, RP Kobe Bryant. So but mine was pretty good, man. Watched some good football. Happened in college games last night. Was good, man. But what about y'all?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. You surround yourself around great people, great things happen. That's just as simple as that, man. Family and friends, that's all that matters right now in life.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was tired. I didn't drink. I didn't do nothing. I just ate and that was it, and took naps all day, pretty much.
It's a great,
I was at my brother's house, so that's, and we played some games. That was pretty much it, man.
still a great start. A great start. But hey, we are almost at the end. This is the end. Right now, we're looking at the playoff picture of the NFL right now in its entirety. In the AFC right now, we have the Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, and Browns. Those are the official teams that have clinched the playoff spot. Believe it or not, the AFC South is still up for grabs. With Jags kind of well, no, yeah, with the Jags having a 77% chance of clinching it, and then of course getting into the playoffs. Looks like the Texans also are in it. The Bills and the Colts are also they're right neck and neck. Well the Texans are on the bubble, but in the hunt are the Jags, Bills, and Colts. So that's what they have right now predicting. On the NFC side, you got the 49ers, Cowboys, Lions, Eagles, and Rams. They've all clinched. You got the Buccaneers right now leading the South, and then of course the Packers being the seventh seed. So, I mean, gentlemen, when we look at that big picture, I mean, what really stands out the most?
I say that the from the AFC, I think it's the Chiefs. We're about to start the playoffs and they're not even looking good. And then they barely beat barely beat over Cincinnati. So I mean, I think a Cincinnati team coming in without Joe Burrow and whatnot. I think that Chiefs. I mean, are y'all? You think any team be scared to go into Kansas City when the playoffs start?
I mean,
No,
right now we've seen the Chiefs and the Eagles. They're kind of like in the same situation. I don't know. That's kind of like the way I see things right now.
Kansas City and Philadelphia, as crazy how those two teams are the two Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl.
teams went
Yeah.
from last year. What stands out to me about it is just I think Kansas City right now they're struggling going into the playoffs. Right, we just talked pre-show. I don't think that's just an automatic button you can just press, and all of a sudden your receivers are looking good. Even though they did win against Cincinnati, all of a sudden your receivers are looking good. Travis Kelce looking 5 years younger. The offensive line has been bad this year. Um, I just don't think that's just a button you can just punch, just hit, but just for somebody just to start playing better. I don't think that can happen. And right now, it's looking like they can play what I think you said Jacksonville, maybe, Jacksonville, probably a couple other teams and whatnot, Pittsburgh. And I don't think no team is scared to go into Kansas City and play them right now.
Harvey, anything?
I think for me, man, is I don't know if anybody's talked about this, but what's the potential that Joe Flacco might play in the AFC Championship in Baltimore?
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you. The Browns have been a big surprise to me. I just can't believe that they look this good, this strong, and they've already clinched a situation where, I mean, right now when you look at it, the Chiefs and the Dolphins, they are who they are, man. I know you can't count out Patrick Mahomes, but Harvey, you have a great point, a great defense, a great running attack, and then all you gotta do is sprinkle on it as a seasoned quarterback that has been there before, and Joe Flacco. Oh my goodness.
He's been
I can
playing really good, man. So my thing is, you have a quarterback that can methodically take the Browns down the field. They're not going to score on one play, although they Amari Cooper had 265 yards. But it's just one of those things, man. Like, is there a possibility he could be in Baltimore again, and not as a Baltimore, but as a Brown? And what if he beats the Ravens in Baltimore? They have a
and
good defense.
and look what Cleveland has overcame. I think they left tackles out for the year, I believe. I think they got a lineman that's out for the year. Nick Chubb is out for the year. But Deshaun Watson's out for the year, and they sitting there with 9-10 wins right now. What we always say, a good defense in the run game travels. It don't say they've missed a beast, but just think about what I don't want to look ahead to 2024, but they're gonna be even better next year when they get Deshaun Watson back into that system. But if Joe Flacco can make about 2 to 3 big time throws in the next few weeks in these games, we could be talking about Cleveland Browns really doing. Nobody's talking about the Browns.
Nope.
Everybody just thinking like this old Joe Flacco, they ain't gonna do nothing. No, they got a defense and they got pieces on offense. Amari Cooper. That's how you know when a wide receiver is really good. When anywhere he goes, whatever quarterback he has, he still produces. He could have easily checked it out when he left from Dallas or then went to Cleveland. They didn't have Deshaun Watson. He's still been putting up marvelous numbers. The running back's looking good. Defense, Myles Garrett looking good. Myles Garrett might even get Defensive Player of the Year. Like, he's playing some good ball this year. Like, the Browns, they look real good. And I think they're the type of team, they don't care where they play. Because the way they play, it really travels. So I think I'm very interested to see how the Cleveland look. Now, the thing about Joe Flacco, he does get the ball up a little bit, but I think he makes more better plays than the bad play. I think that's about him. And they got a pretty good offensive line. They can support him in that run game, that defense. They're not going to need him to do much. But I think if Cleveland get the right matchup here in a couple of weeks, next week when the playoffs start, Cleveland can make some noise.
I will tell you this. I'm pretty sure that would help ignite a lot of fan bases, especially the Cleveland, the Dog Pound, to see them in a championship ring against maybe even like Harv was alluding to the Baltimore Ravens, his former team. I'm pretty sure there's some maybe a little bit of animosity, but hey, I mean, it is what it is, and that would be a great story to tell. Well, you got some people already chiming in on TikTok. What's up, Marmar? Ed, should Cowboys go after Cook? That was an Ed. If I say their names on TikTok, you guys go give them a follow so they can hit 1,000. Maybe we could do a collab with them on Talking Football. Loyalty for lifetime. He says Dalvin Cook, we need him. James Chavez 237 says Niners baby. And then we have a Ravens with a purple and a black heart says let's go Ravens. Ravens look nice in the AFC right now. Vinny 2 times Cowboy Nation from San Diego, California. We've already said it, man. If you're a part of Cowboy Nation, well, you know it's sometimes it can be a little bit difficult in Texas, but shout out to you. Thank you for holding it down there on the West Coast for all Cowboys Nation. Jnet says I'm nervous about the game Sunday. We have to win. We tend to not show up. I hope I'm wrong. I guess Jnet is referring to the Dallas Cowboys. Ivan says Cowboys need to pick up Henry in the offseason. S.I. West says listen up here. What Habir? I've arrived. Okay. He said, I finally seen Gerardo doing some work. What makes Cook any different than Pollard? Different underscore strokes 1969. Ooh. Good question. I mean, we did see, I guess the painting was on the wall for Dalvin Cook, right? Breece Hall kind of took over that backfield and he hasn't looked back since. So any predictions, guys, on where he might end up? If anywhere?
Who Dalvin Cook?
Yes.
I can see Dalvin Cook going to Baltimore. Keep in mind they did lose J.K. Dobbins. They lost Keaton Mitchell. They got Gus Edwards and somebody else that got back there running the ball. I think Melvin Gordon still. I think they still got Melvin. I'm not sure, but I don't think that Baltimore. I think Baltimore. That's the best spot. I think Dalvin Cook can go there. Keep in mind the Jets released him, so he's probably might go unclaimed on waivers, and maybe he might can sign with anybody. I think Baltimore would be a good spot for him. And then he's probably have a couple weeks to rest. They got Pittsburgh this week. They already got the win, so they probably going to play this week. Give Dalvin Cook a couple weeks to get his feet wet in that new system. And I actually can see it working in Baltimore. Then they got the bye week. So I think Baltimore would be a good fit for Dalvin Cook.
Doesn't Dalvin
shout out Rev. Rev says pick him up. What were you gonna say here?
Doesn't Cook's brother play for Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does.
Just throwing that out there.
It would have been like a Diggs on Diggs type situation.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But
SI West says the last game, bro, the score was Detroit 19, Cowboys 20. Referees. We're gonna talk about that in just a bit because that's been the story of the entire week. Of course, we won't go too deep into it because we already covered this game. Jets lose to the Browns 37-20. Then on Saturday, for on East West football. We really didn't get to talk or go into depths normally like the way we normally do. Cowboys defeat the Lions 20-19. I'm sorry. Kendall, what are your thoughts, man, on this game? I mean, you are becoming a part of the Cowboys nation, but
slowly.
yeah, we're easing you on in. We're bringing you on back into the dark
Hey,
side.
we're not easy nothing on. He's the one with the hat on. Don't start. You gotta explain yourself, man. What's up with the hat?
It's a Christmas
Hey
gift.
man, it was a Christmas gift. You know, I got family members that know I deal with the Cowboys a little bit. Man, I also got some Patriots gloves, got some Cowboy gloves too. So
Look,
just a support or whatnot. But no, I know a lot of people want to make fun of the officiating and they think that's what it came down to. But what about the 200 plus yards that the Lions gave up to CD Lamb? Did the officiating have anything to do with that? They
12
didn't. Nobody.
catches,
12 catches. What about the long touchdown scramble? I think
two broken seasonal records.
yeah, 55. He actually had a sack. And there was a little bit of hold on that play, but that's beside the point. 55 was coming straight up, had a sack. I don't know if he overran or what. Nobody talks about that. That Detroit Lions getting carved up yardage wise in the passing game in the first half for the most part. The officiating played no part in CeeDee Lamb having a big game. It didn't. So did officiating play no part on Jordan Lewis getting an interception off Jared Goff and the Cowboys pass rush getting off? Nobody's talk. I've been hearing a lot of talk about how to officiate and lost the game, but no good talk about the Cowboys. No positive about how good they did look in certain different aspects of the game. That had nothing to do with the officiating. So yeah, I mean you hate to see it go down like that with the officiating, but I still think the Cowboys played a good game. They did what it took to win the game. Detroit still had time. Why don't you just kick the field goal and just go into overtime? But I mean, that's what I would have did or whatnot. Just kick the field goal and go to overtime. Maybe they didn't think the defense could stop. I don't know. But I mean, Jared Goff, I think the Lions played well down the stretch. Jared Goff leading them down there scoring, but you got to kick the field goal, take the points. You don't go for the 2 points. I think you take the points, man. Especially you need the game. So Lions would have won that game. But we seen what San Fran did to Washington. They'd be the 2 seed or whatnot. So I think it was just bad coaching there by Dan Campbell. And I mean, you get what you deserve or whatnot. You should have got the field goal.
Well said from a non-biased, currently non-biased point of view. Harv, I want to hear your take on this. I mean, I've seen you battle so many battles on your on your social medias. It's insane how. Let's just be honest, gentlemen. All both of y'all. Let's just be honest.
I'm a Cowboy fan, but man, you got to look at it, man. Did we mess up? Did the refs mess up? Regardless of what happens, everybody's gonna have their opinion on it. But if you logically look at it from the outside in and just kind of think as a fan instead of an NFL fan instead of an actual team fan, let's look at it, right? At the end of the day, if somebody calls themselves eligible, the referee has to announce that to the defense to let the defense know, like, hey, this guy is eligible. They were trying to play some tricks with the 3 linemen, 1 coming in. They were trying to do something tricky to try to trip everybody up. It backfired on them. That's exactly what happened. They tried to be tricky about it, and it didn't work out. And at the end of the day, it's Dan Campbell's fault. Anything that does happen and doesn't happen happens to Dan Campbell. If me as a coach, you're telling me that after 2 times that something doesn't happen, you know what? I'm kicking the field goal, man. I'm kicking the field goal and I'm taking the 3 points and I'm going into overtime. That's what I would have done, because now somebody's telling you, hey man, you ain't getting the points. But at the end of the day, they have to announce that to the defense so the defense knows who's eligible. They said 70 was eligible. Now they heard it over the what is it called? The overcom, whatever they say, intercom. They say, hey, 70 is eligible. At then and there, if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm like, hold on. No. 70 and 68 are eligible. Then that would have caused something. I would have said something. If I'm the quarterback, if I'm the lineman, I would have said, no, I'm eligible too. They didn't say that though. Nobody said anything and let it ride because they tried to get away with it. At the end of the day, Even Dan Campbell came out and said, yeah, we tried to trick them and it backfired on them. That's exactly what happened. I'll leave it at that.
And then also they had another opportunity. I think the tight end was wide open. He was I won't say wide open. He was open on that final play. Jared Goff threw a dirt ball, threw it short or whatnot. But if he catches that, if he puts it right on him, I think it's a touchdown there. And then nobody's talking about that fish rating on it or whatnot. So they did have another opportunity. But hey, of course, Jared Goff couldn't make the throw or whatnot.
Look, I'll just say this: it's a consensus. Either you love the Cowboys or you're just a Cowboy hater. I mean, so just say it. Just say you don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's fine. Like, there's teams I don't like. I don't like the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's they're a bunch of phonies. I think that if anything, I think they should be all happy for the coach they have. And I'll tell you this, man, if that coach is not happy, he's gonna leave. He'll find another team, and another team's gonna scoop him up, and he's gonna make a great run with that new team. NFZ says game would have been over if they had called the bad tripping call anyways. So there's excuses are just BS. And you know what? I think you're absolutely right. I think it was on Peyton Hendershot who got called for the tripping call on that play. Like, it's all great debates. In the end, it doesn't matter if the Lions won or no, the Cowboys won. It's at the very end who won and why did they win. Kendall, you brought up a great point. Harvey, you brought up a great point. You kick the field goal, go to overtime. I guess Dan Campbell just does not trust his offense or his defense. I don't know what it is. Those are questions that he needs to answer because they are finally in the playoffs, something they were not in a year ago. So they need to refocus. The Detroit Lions need to chill and stop calling out other fan bases and need to stop, and I don't even know what they call it. Are they called One Pride? What do they call it? The One Pride Nation or,
Something like that. We need water.
Yeah,
we need water.
like the fan bases need to chill. Even the Niner gang needs to chill. Focus on your own team. You guys got to buy. Everything's going to go through Santa Clara. Everything's nice and smooth. Hey, Eagles fly. You guys need to chill. You guys need to focus on your route in the playoffs. It's just that's just where the cards are at right now. At the very end, everybody gets the same amount of time. The Cowboys have been in many situations where the refs blew it on the Cowboys situation. Patriots have been there many times. Lions have been there many times. 49ers have been there. Every team in the NFL has had referee problems. You should always come in with dominance and just try to focus on the agenda at hand, which is coming away victoriously. And if you can put some swagger and put some style points, do it. But
I think it kind of seems like, let's see, that camera didn't want.
Alex says Dan Campbell didn't want CD to go over 300 yards receiving. No answer for him. Face orange biting now.
I think it kind of seems like the Dallas AT&T Stadium has been a house of horrors for Detroit because you remember last year they went down and then Jamal Williams he fumbles in the end zone. It's some years ago during Tony Romo era. I'm sure y'all remember. I think it was a playoff game there, and it was a penalty on a pass interference play. And then this time here is another controversial call. So it's been a house of horrors there for Detroit going to Dallas.
Hey, you can't leave it up to the referee, man. You got to go in there and play your game. I think relatively it was a good outing. The one thing I can say, Detroit Lions have a phenomenal offensive line. It was crazy to think that the Cowboys were able to slow down that running game because I mean that's where their bread and butter's at. Their running game goes, their whole offensive line follows. NFZ says biggest problem I picked up was McCarthy's dumb play calling and clock management. Again. I think this could be a make or break year for Mike McCarthy. We'll talk about that towards the back end. What do you guys think as far as predictions? What do you think? Then we're moving on. The Houston Texans come out victorious 26-3 against the Tennessee Titans. Oh man, what do you think, guys?
Texas got back on track, man. CJ Stroud came back from concussion. Titans, I think they've already melded in for this season. They get ready for next year. And I like what they got with Will Levis and get them a couple of pieces on offense. But I think good win by the Texans, but to keep their playoff hopes alive.
It's crazy to think that the Texans could make the playoffs, man. What a big difference a great coach makes, right? I think D'Amico Ryans is doing a great job with that team, considering their leaders are both rookies, one on the offensive side and one on the defensive side. And for them to come together, man, it's insane, and it says a lot about D'Amico Ryan and what he's done with this organization. Imagine he has another year under his belt with that team, and then with new draft picks coming in, and let's not forget Tank Dell's on IR. Imagine if they still had him, would they have 1 or 2 more wins? Tank Dell was tearing it up, man, until he got hurt. So I'm just saying, man, this is probably a team to watch next year. And yeah, if they win next week, I think they need a little bit of help, and they might make the playoffs. So I guess if you look at it, I guess the number 1, the number 2 pick and the number 3 pick, they had to move up, I believe.
It was worth it.
It's worth it, man. If you, in hindsight, if you think about it, it was worth it, man. So great job to D'Amico Ryans and the Texans, man. I really do hope they make the playoffs.
Quick rebuild there in Houston.
It would be a
A
great.
lot of times these rebuilds take about 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You starting to see it early, and they still got picks too. So it's good for you. They're a young team, and they got some pieces. And Nico Collins, I like him out of Michigan, I believe. Was that
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
they got some pieces there, man.
I'll tell you this. I think that they should stick with those red helmets, man. That looks like their bread and butter right now, man.
Those Texans helmets look nice, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, that red helmet looks nice. I think the Texans should stick with that, roll that, just keep it rolling. The Bears defeating the Falcons 37-17. I think the Bears are locked in with the first overall pick because of the Carolina Panther trade a year ago.
Yep. Justin Fields looking good, and Bears they're in a position where I'm hearing they might keep Fields and get him some help at offensive line or wide receiver. And they got 2 picks, so I mean they can go Marvin Harrison in the top 3 picks, and then I think they got right now they the 8th pick right now. Check out their other pick. I think it's a 7 or 8, but whatever it is, they can go left tackle or right tackle, whatnot. So they're in a good position, man. Good, they got a good problem to have, or they can trade that pick. So they got their hand in a lot of things there in Chicago. They can do a lot.
It would be nice to get that offensive line finished with Darnell Wright on the right tackle. Maybe go and get yourself solidify that team.
Joe Ollie for something they can.
Oh
do
yeah,
lot,
from Notre Dame. Yeah. What do you think, Harp? 37-17. Are they keeping Justin Fields?
Yeah, I honestly, to me, I think you keep Justin Fields and you just add to that team that you have. Now the question is, this is the question though: if somebody comes knocking on your door, do you take the trade? Because I don't know if you seek out for a trade and you can see Justin Fields playing, man. He's good, man. But the question is, I think you hold on to him because you know what you have in him. There's a lot of rumors coming out about Caleb Williams right now. So they can move up if they want, but I'm just saying there's a lot of rumor. I don't know if you guys heard about Caleb Williams. You know he didn't play the last game, right?
The bowl game.
And there's a bunch of players when they won against Louisville that they were saying we're finally a complete team. They were yelling on the field when they scored that touchdown. Was that referring to Caleb Williams?
Quick question. I got a question about the Bears.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if y'all know about it. Could they take Caleb Williams at 1 and then trade him for a pick?
Yes.
Could they do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking to somebody earlier. I know
You're talking about Carolina?
Huh? No, the first pick. Like let's just say the Bears pick. Yeah, let's just say the Bears take Caleb Williams, but they want to keep Fields but trade Caleb Williams for more draft. Could they do that?
They could do that.
Yeah, okay.
But the problem is you're not going to select him unless the team's going to do it.
Right.
Unless you know for sure it's going to happen. Because technically what you're saying is he is the number 1 pick in that draft. Mm-hmm. And you want to afford him that number 1 pick. And then later on they'll trade for him, still officially making him the number 1 pick, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for me, Justin Fields, you know what you have. I think there's a lot of question marks in Caleb Williams. We're going to have to see throughout the process. But Justin Fields is the guy in Chicago, in my opinion.
I mean, if anything, like I think Kendall alluded, I mean, even if he's not, they could still get some nice draft picks for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the Bears are in a situation. We'll see. I mean, are they going to keep the coach around? And it's still a long ways to go, but all that stuff we're going to talk about it here on East West Football. That's why you need to subscribe. Help us grow this channel to 1,000 on YouTube, specifically on YouTube. And of course, the Cowboys Cast. Help subscribe to that one. The link is in the bio on TikTok. Help us. We're almost at 1K and Ken's Pat Talk. All things Patriots right now. Eventually, it's gonna be Ken's Cowboy Talk, right? But right now, we're good. The Ravens come in, or no, the Dolphins come in, and the Ravens just hand them a nice little beating, 56-19. When's the last time we saw a 50 burger?
Woo. Well, we seen a 70 burger earlier. Miami beat Cleveland. I mean, not beat Denver.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
That's right.
damn, man, Baltimore looks good, man. I think they're the most complete team. I don't see no weakness other than getting healthy. They did lose more injuries. I heard they might be getting them back. But here, Isaiah Light came in and looked just as good as him. Looked just as good as him, if not better. Freak. Odell Beckham Jr. he's good for one night, crazy catch a game. Zay Flowers, the rookie out of Boston College, man. I want New England. I want the Patriots to draft him. Bateman. I could just go. They loaded. Their defense looking good. Baltimore's definitely team to beat AFC, man. Miami. I think they're pretenders, man. When they go up against good competition, they struggle. They struggle big time, especially on the road. And they better beat Dallas a couple weeks ago, but they struggle when they go up against tough competition on the road, man. Tua got hurt. They lost Chubb for the season. I think Xavier Howard got hurt. They're a banged up team, and then they got a big game this Sunday against Buffalo. So Miami lost the battle. Well, they lost everything. So, yeah, but Baltimore's the real deal, man. I think in the AFC playoffs will be going through Maryland, Baltimore.
Edna Ramsey 440 on TikTok. Remember, if I say their names on TikTok, go and follow them so they can hit 1,000. What do you think the Commanders do? It's a good question.
I think Commanders are the most interesting, fascinating team of the draft because I was thinking before they benched Sam Howard, they probably go offensive line. The offensive line is terrible. Maybe like Joe Al or Fasano out of Penn State, but you picking that high, I think they're gonna go quarterback. You benching your quarterback, you obviously know you don't have a quarterback. So I think
they tried to bench him, and then I believe Brissett got hurt, so he stayed as the starter.
Yeah,
but you're right. I mean, Harv, what do you think? I mean,
to me, the Commanders, if they're if they win, there's a possibility some of these teams they might fall like 4 or 5 spots.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, like you don't want to say, hey, let's tank, but at the same time, hey, what's it really worth at the end of the year? I think you would probably sit some of these players, because what if some of these starters get hurt, get an ACL or something? They're out for a whole year, almost
a whole year.
So
because back into the season,
yeah. So for me, I think it's one of those things like, hey guys, we're not going to win anything. At the end of the day, we're going to sit a lot of these starters and see what these young guys have. Kind of do it like hey, let's see what these young guys have, just to see what happens. But I think that's what I would do if I were.
Or play them like a quarter or something like that.
Yeah, because is Ron Rivera really going to be there?
No.
I think he's gone, man.
He's gone.
It's kind of hard. It's a new ownership, right? So
yeah.
Nothing bad about Ron Rivera. I actually he's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. Yeah. I think that he actually handled this situation with the most respect.
Real quick, Caleb Williams is from the DC area, so be a good land spot for him if he was to get to Washington. He is from Washington DC.
Loyalty for Lifetime on TikTok says, what do you say? They ain't changing outcomes, so who cares what they say? Canture says not Niners, they be whiners. Loyalty for Lifetime says the real problem is defense. Let them go down and score. That's the real issue. I think they're referring to the Lions on that one. So and Rod Wave the best Cowboys.
So I'll comment on the Ravens and the Dolphins, right? So I never thought this Ravens defense was elite before Roquan Smith got there. And you got to also think Patrick Queen, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of okay. He was playing all right. And then here comes along Roquan Smith. And is he not playing better than he's ever played?
Those inside linebackers are monsters.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he's elevated his game since Roquan has gone there. And I think Roquan Smith, as much as a lot of people say, hey, one player doesn't make a difference, I think that guy by himself has elevated everybody's game on that defense, which makes him elite, man. The way he plays, I saw him mic'd up. I heard him mic'd up. I was like, man, what let me tell you what, man. If you want a motivator, he almost reminds me of Ray Lewis. Like you got to listen to him mic'd up, man. And I'm telling you right now, if I was a betting man, you have to bet with the Ravens, man. They are not. They look like they're not even slowing down.
This feels like a Ravens year.
It's crazy.
Well, they got to show it. They got to prove it in the playoffs because they have struggled in the postseason. But
I got you, Kendall. But in the regular season, they've never looked like this. This is on a different level, man. We're talking about the Niners. We're talking about the Dolphins. Like they're making everybody look like junior varsity. I'm just saying, man, like this is not even fair right now. It's going to be tough to beat those guys, man.
I just like how they remade that. They remade the offense, bringing these new receivers, offensive line, Tom Monken, like they're loaded, man. This is like you're right. Baltimore has not looked like this on the offensive side of Baltimore. Wow.
And you would think they lose Andrews. You're like, oh man, they're going to lose right down. And then likely is just
he's more versatile than Andrews. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, man, this is the team to beat.
Most definitely. That they're looking like the one of the top teams in the NFL, complete NFL. Mr. Carey on TikTok says, which coach is on the hot seat or is most likely gonna get fired by the end of the season? And he's talking about Black Monday coming up right next Monday.
Talking about what they said, NFC or both?
No, he just said NFL.
NFL total.
I think Ron Rivera probably when the first head coach is gone. Interesting. I think I heard it's possibly to be 6 or 7 head coaches going. There's already been like 2 or 3 firings, so that leaves you with probably like 4, probably 3 or 4 more. I want to see what happens with the Saints and their head coach, Dennis Allen. That's an interesting one, and the Falcons as well. So that whole NFC South is really could look different next year. Outside of Todd, I think Todd Bowles will stay, but I want to see what happens with the Saints, man, because they got talent and they were my NFC Championship team this year. So, but yeah, I want to see what happens with the Saints.
I have a question, I guess, for both of y'all. What coaches are out there that you would want to see with these teams?
See, and I think that's a good question, Jerry, because how as Cowboy fans, everybody's like, I want Mike McCarthy gone. Okay, if that's the case, who's gonna take his place? Because that's what you got to think about too. Who's gonna take? So for me, if you're gonna ask that question, there's a couple of people that I could think about. And one of them is Brian Callahan from Cincinnati, the offensive coordinator. I really like him. Him and probably, I know this is like a long shot, right? But the Cowboys secondary coach, Al Harris.
I heard, yeah.
I think those two for me are up and coming.
What about Dan Quinn?
Dan, I mean, that's kind of a given. I'm talking about more of a.
Okay.
I'm talking about outside, like people that really don't know about these guys. I think those two are some dark horses. Obviously, you got your Dan Quinns and your other, but I think those two are very young coaches, very strong-minded, smart coaches that I think are dark horses coming forward.
I would like to see Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers.
He has been linked on Bleacher Report. I've seen them.
Yeah, then he just changed agent. He got an NFL agent now. So he got Tom Brady's agent.
Oh wow.
So, or even Chicago. I would love to see him in Chicago. So but Chicago or I think who knows what happened in Chicago? They've been winning some games lately, just Fields playing, but they might even keep I can't think of his name, the defensive coach they got there as head coach. But yeah, I would like to see Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers. I think that's a match made in heaven there.
I will. Let's go to move along. Robert Lane says, "I'm sick of hearing the crying about the correct call in the Detroit game." Christian Robles 572 says, "Jets just released Dalvin Cook. Should the Cowboys go and get him?" Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can see when we go live. We did talk about it earlier. I think everybody kind of is a consensus. Why not, right? Give him a shot. You never know. I mean, for a while he was a Pro Bowl running back in the NFL. Ature says, "I don't think Dan Q should be head coach. He should just stay as a defensive coordinator." I think it's time for Dan Quinn to spread his wings, man, and become a head coach. What do you guys think?
Well, I think if Dan Quinn came up to be the head coach for Dallas, I think Al Harris probably defensive coordinator, right? Would they do
no,
I
think it would be Jason Witt.
Jason Witt.
I think that's
and
his.
keep Al Harris as secondary coach.
Well, that's not that's necessarily the what would happen. I think it just comes down to who Mike McCarthy really wants. Because we can't just say that, guys. Yeah, he's legit. I think I don't know, man. At this point, Mike. I hate to say this, but I think Mike McCarthy's in the hot seat.
We'll see. I think it's going to depend on how he finishes the season.
Yeah.
Let's move along. Saints coming to the Bucks, and they actually defeated. This throws a whole curveball into the whole playoff equation. Saints win 23-13 against the Buccaneers. Kendall, I'll let you chime in because right now the Bucks, technically they are holding on to the 4th seed. But what did you say would need to happen?
Baker Mayfield. I mean, well, Saints went in there to beat him, demolish him for whatnot. Baker Mayfield, just as soon as we start giving him his flowers, he struggles for whatnot. He has won a Baker Mayfield game, but Saints win this game, and I think if the Tampa loses, Carolina Saints get into the playoffs. So that's gonna be an interesting game, Sunday. But good win by the Saints to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Harv?
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in that South Division, man. I could sit here and explain everything to you, but I'm just saying I think the way Kendall said it is correct. Now, if there's some things that happen on the outside, I think the Atlanta Falcons make it if they win, the other teams lose, and then a couple of other teams lose and they make it. But it's just you're in, you win, you're in. I think with the
to the Lakers,
the what's I gonna say, the Saints or the Bucks. So
that's Mike. Our friend Mike Porsche says Curry to the Lakers. I don't know. I don't keep up with the NBA. Too much going on.
yeah.
Look, Kendall had to go check, man. Alex Lopez, who can compete with the Baltimore right now? Not the 49ers. I mean, right now that's the hottest team right now, I think, in the NFL. Harv?
Yeah, they're just, I don't even know how to explain it, man. They're playing so good, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I think Lamar Jackson has one playoff win. This is the perfect time for him. He's able to make mistakes with a defense like this. He's able to make mistakes with a defense like this, and this is the time for him to win it all, man.
It is his time. Jay Fonda, what's up, fellas? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Jay Fonda. And he says, is this the year DQ leaves? I hope not. I'll tell you this. I think it might be the year he leaves and becomes a head coach. Canture says, I don't think Dan Quinn should be head coach. He should stay as a defensive coordinator because he says, remember what happened to Wade Phillips. Great. That's a great comment.
And I think that too, like there's a lot of coaches in the NFL that become head coaches. They don't do very well, and you're just like, man, that guy's just a great coordinator. I'm not saying that about Dan Quinn, but it just kind of feels like that for sure.
Christian Robles says, without Dan Quinn, the Cowboys D would regress. Damn. I don't know, man. When you have some players like Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland, I mean, it's a very solid core right now. Got the Dove says, name all good teams with defensive head coaches. Ooh, that's a great one right there. On that one, well, I mean, are they a lock right now in the playoffs, Kendall?
Not a lock, but I mean,
yeah, he has a good point. It's a great point. It's something that we should actually do our homework on and see. Moving along, right? We got the Bills defeating the Patriots 27-21. Kendall, you can always tell us a little bit more about that. Got the Dove says it doesn't exist. There's like only 5.
Josh Allen
Thank
kind
you.
of struggled this game. I actually think they could have beat the Patriots by a little more. Josh Allen struggled through interception. Bailey Zappi, he's like a roller coaster. He's hot, he's cold, hot, cold. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Zeke still looked good, scored a touchdown. DeMar Douglas, but other than that, I mean, these are the wandering days. Just Bill Belichick's future is pondering is on the line right now. Know what's going to happen there. But a lot of stuff going on. But Buffalo, I was just surprised how out of sync they look. And what the hell's going on with Stephon Diggs, man? He's been struggling since about the first month of the season. I think they're not really being forcing the ball too. They've been spreading the ball around, but keep an eye on that this offseason because we all know how dicey that situation can get.
I honestly, Kendall, I don't think there's anything wrong with Stephon Diggs. I think Brady is going in another direction, and he's running the damn ball, man.
I don't
That's
think he's there next year.
honestly that's what he's doing. It's formula for this, the recipe for winning, man. If Josh Allen throws the ball 50 times, they're gonna lose. That I'm just being honest.
But we know these receivers can be divas, and they want that ball. They want
I got
they want
you.
to win, but they want their
Look,
numbers
you
too.
can talk all you want. As long as we keep winning, that's all that matters. Because I'll tell you what, that dude Cook is dynamic, man.
Yeah, I like
As long
that.
as they keep feeding them the ball and they're winning, that's all that matters at that point.
I think you're onto something there. Jay Fonda says, "How long does a player have to be on practice squad?" I.e., Layla,
How
like
long?
Layla Collins, right? I think he just got signed up back into the Cowboys practice
He
squad.
did.
I think it's
And
not about how long, it's about how many elevations. I think you're only allowed so many elevations. It's not about how long you're on the squad.
not only that, but you get other teams that can actually make them an active
Yeah.
roster and take them out of there. Jay Fonda says Diggs is coming to Dallas. Book it now. Okay, damn. Shoot, that would be kind of crazy. You're putting together a super team of sorts. Sernando says, "Hey, Javier, I wonder if Jerry was crying and pounding the ground on his knees, saying there is a football god, knowing we got the number 2 seed." Damn, Fernando, you're already predicting the number 2 seed. They gotta get to the Commanders.
No, I
They
think
gonna whoop it down.
I think at the end of the day, I think he did the right thing, and I think he did it at the right time. Because I think there was a lot of demons being exercised all these years. That every year that Jimmy Johnson was not in the ring, I don't care what anybody says, that he was not in the Ring of Honor, and I think that's what it comes down to, man. He should have done the right thing a long time ago, but it is what it is.
It's done now. That's all that matters. FOCO says John Harbaugh was even though he was special teams, he did have some experience in the defensive coordinator and that's Fernando. I'll show it in just a bit. And what do you say? Got the dub says TP not getting that TD has everyone thinking Zeke was good this year. And Greg Lofgren says we should go get Cook. And
Yeah, John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Fernando's now picking on me. He's like, no, not Jerry Jones, this Jerry. Okay.
That's funny.
No, I mean, you become a part of Cowboys Nation since you're younger.
I think
know-
Jerry, I think he's saying that because you've been saying that for the last since we started.
Oh, I mean, if Cowboys even get to the Super Bowl,
No, what I'm saying, you said that. Remember when we first started, like, hey man, Jerry Jones needs to put him in the Ring of Honor so he can break the curse. You said that before.
oh yeah, that was a while back. I was just joking
That's why
around.
he's saying that.
There is a football god, right? Greg says Cook is a no-brainer. You know what? No, yes, I did. Okay, I was appreciating the football gods letting him get into the Ring of Honor. How about this? How about this game, guys? The Cardinals defeat the Eagles at Philadelphia, 35-31. Who would have thought?
Well, I'm happy as a Patriot fan because the Cardinals won and got another win, and they could probably going. Rumors are right now they're going to keep Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is the franchise guy at least for next year.
Yep.
So that's good in terms of the Patriots because the Patriots are sitting 3 years on 4 in the draft position. But something's going on down there in Philly, and I talked a little bit about the other day with somebody. I know they got the new OC, new DC. They got lost to one on, but the AJ Brown's lashing out. Him and Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith, I heard he's on crutches. He's going to be out. Well, they say it's not a long-term injury, but not just going to return like that. And they need this game this week against the Giants. So something's going on down there in Philly, man. They're kind of hit a late season. Like they started out like what 10-2 or something like that. They started off looking real good, and they just collapsed down the stretch, man. They've been like they was up most of these games, but then since the 49ers came in there and just put the blueprint out for them, and they just got whooped or whatnot. But it's been down here from there, losing to San Fran and Dallas and Seattle, and then could have lost to the Giants last week. I mean, they got a lot going on there, man, in Philadelphia, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they can put the wheels back on the car and whatnot and get back right, man, because they about to have another tough stretch. This Giants game ain't gonna be no gimme this week. And yeah, I think right now like they might play Tampa in the first round, maybe if the playoffs end today, Tampa or the Saints or something. So I want to see what happens with Philadelphia going down the stretch here, going to the playoffs.
Cantu Reyes says that the Beagles got a beat down from behind with a bunch of laughing emojis. Greg says Eagle players are not happy with Matt Patricia.
Yeah. So look, man. My thing on this is I look. We need to look back at the videos because I told everybody about these coordinators, and I keep saying it again. It's all about rhythm, man. Putting your quarterback in the rhythm in the right situation. The other thing is, how much is this team really missing Hargrave and CJ? How much are they really missing those two players? Those guys are big time, man, and they're missing them right now. I think those are the bigger pieces. Not only that, but they're shopping at freaking 5 and below with their linebackers. So that's what you get when you draft these defensive tackles. You miss out on linebackers, and they're not doing anything for you right now. So they're in some trouble, man. AJ seems like he's frustrated. He don't want to talk to the media. What does that tell you? So, and not only that, but look, I read Jalen Hurts' gestures on the sideline, and look, maybe I'm wrong, but he makes it seem like he's better than everybody, and he just don't want to talk to anybody. And you can say what you want, but a lot of people agree with me when it comes to that. He just sits on that sideline and looks like, "Hey, it doesn't matter to me. I'm getting paid." That's almost what it seems like.
I'm not gonna get into I'm not gonna get into that part of it. I will say it's just not a good look for him, especially being paid as a top franchise quarterback. I think I think more for whatever it is, Jalen Hurts is a great man. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, very spiritual individual. But no excuses. It is the NFL, and the product. What product are you putting out? What are you telling your team? It just doesn't look good. And the irony of it all was at the beginning of the season, everybody was already pegging him to be NFL MVP and get back to the Super Bowl.
That's the thing. Everybody crowned this dude, and I said he had one good year. One good year, and everybody's and I said it too, man. He's playing the best ball he's played. Yeah, good, but everybody's still crowning him as one of the best. He had one good year, and everybody wanted to crown him, and they don't want to admit it, but they were. And now what are they saying? Because he had one good year, and I said that too, and I got a lot of crap for it. I'm just saying.
It is what it is. Loyalty for lifetime said. What do you say? The problem with Dallas is the defense can't is giving up too many late drives. FOCO says no brotherly love in Philly. It's what I meant. Man, everybody's there's a YOVICGTZ says Cowboys should get Dalvin Cooks. Canture says he wouldn't want no Eagles players here. Just go straight to the unemployment office, not the Dallas Cowboys. Loyalty says he's Carson Wentz. Philly made some mistakes. Ooh, wow. That's a tough pill to swallow on that one. We hope so, but we've already seen how Philly handles their situation with quarterbacks. Obviously, Jalen Hurts has a great skill set. It's just time for him to start evolving into becoming a more of a pure pocket passer. We've seen that the Cowboys gave Dak how many seasons to evolve into the quarterback he is today. Will Eagles fans and Eagles Nation be that patient to let Jalen Hurts develop into a actual pure pocket passer? We'll see. Time will tell, but we'll see. It's still a long way. They're in the playoffs. Who knows? Maybe they'll turn things around. I know they were blaming it on the defensive coordinator. Now they're blaming the offensive coordinator. So it's just not. It doesn't look good. Philly looks crazy right now.
I want to say something though before we get off to the next team.
No, let's go straight to the next.
No, hold on. I'm gonna say something because I heard Sirianni told the crowd to boo Jonathan Gannon, and he had the last laugh, and I'll leave it at that.
I mean, it's as above, so below, right? I mean, it's biblical, it's everything. You're as good as your leader, and right now, Nick Sirianni, there's some questions there. Jaguars defeat the Panthers 26-0. I don't think we need to get much into that one. That was a game. That was a game the Jaguars needed to beat because you let the Panthers beat you. you got some questions.
Yeah.
Colts defeat the Raiders 23-20.
Coach
Ra-
fighting,
Ra-
hanging on, man.
These Raiders are, I mean,
Coach are hanging on, man. They're hanging on.
moving on.
Yeah, I'm not.
Rams defeat the Giants 26-25. This is a close game. Why?
That was a close game.
Rams a scary team. I don't think a lot of people in the NFC want to see them, man.
Do
They
not
come up in your house, they look good. Matthew Stafford looking good. The young defense coming along. They got 2 wide receivers. They got some guy running game, Kyron Williams. They got Puka and Cooper Kupp. They got some guys that can give some people some problems, man. I'm telling you, man. And guess what? They haven't been to the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So they got Aaron on defense. They got that Super Bowl pedigree. Sean McVay, one of the best play calls out of young guys. I love Sean McVay and Mike McDaniel, those young coaches. But Matthew Stafford, I'm telling you, man, I think it rounds a team where they can go into your house, and I don't think it'll be pretty much an upset because they got a Super Bowl pedigree. They can win. I think they match up against any team in the NFC except for the top.
I'm gonna call it right now, Kendall. If these Rams play the Detroit Lions, I think they win.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna call that bold prediction. If they play the Detroit Lions, they might win.
It's looking like that right now, right?
Yeah. I'm telling you right now.
What about the storyline for that week?
This is gonna be crazy. I'm just saying, you don't want to play the Rams right now.
49ers defeat the Commanders 27-10. I think Brock Purdy finally got to sit down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They should handle that game.
Yeah.
Steelers
defeat the Seahawks 30-23. What in the world is going on?
I was shocked. I was surprised there. I was kind of surprised there. But Pittsburgh been playing better with Mason Rudolph. George Pickens been going. I think he got a 1,000-yard season and he only got 50-something catches. So what they tell you, most of his catches go for big games or whatnot. He's been balling when they get him the ball. But good game by the Steelers, man. To keep their playoff hopes alive. I think if they beat Baltimore and a couple of things happen, they get into the playoffs. And Baltimore might be resting this Sunday.
So all the talk about Mike Tomlin might not be the coach. Look, man, does this make it 16 straight
16?
winning seasons? Whatever it is, 500 or above. Man, that's hard to do in the NFL.
It's difficult.
And you're talking about letting this guy go?
I'm just find nobody much better than that.
He just fought. And if you look at the roster, right, is the roster really that talented? Overall?
Yeah, it is talented now. They got talent.
I don't know. It doesn't blow me away though.
They got talent, bro.
Yeah. How? Like, okay, so who do they got that blows your mind?
They got Pickens at wide receiver, Najee Harris at running back, tight end, Pat Freeman. When they can give him the ball, is pretty good.
That's 2.
They drafted an offensive line the past couple years. The defense is loaded. TJ Watt.
You're mumbling.
They got a bunch of guys, man.
I don't think they got it. Their quarterback's not that good.
Pittsburgh got top 15 talent in the league.
I'm just saying, their quarterback's not that good. So to me,
well, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. They don't have a quarterback. So, but I mean,
so for me, Mike Tomlin, what he's done without a quarterback, you can't fire the dude. I'll put it that.
I will say this: he needs to get himself an offensive coordinator because he's wasting his talent. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
We got the Bengals losing to the Chiefs 25-17. Chiefs finally getting off that little trip they're on.
Bengals, I don't know, they've been hanging around and whatnot, but I think we're starting to see why Jake Brown is Jake Brown and why he's a second-string quarterback. I watched that game and he just taking sack after sack after sack after sack. I just keep taking sacks, and I mean, I don't think Mahomes turned the ball over this game. No, I think he did throw interception this game or something, fumble or something he did. But the Chiefs don't look right, like I said in my open or whatnot. But the Bengals, I mean, hats off to them for hanging in tight. But I think they're eliminated now for playoffs contenders.
Fernando says, I've been saying 2 wildcard teams are coming out of the NFC. Oh, damn. Okay. Arf.
Man, you're talking about the damn Bengals and I'm upset. I'm upset.
The Broncos
beat the Chargers 16-9. Another
steady. Good win by the Good
Steady.
win by Denver, whatnot, man. Their playoff hopes are still alive. I think, yeah, they still can get it, but they won't get in there though. I guess Sean Payton putting in Jarrett Stidham paid off a little bit. I guess he want to win. So, but Chargers, I think they've already packed up. They got the U-Hauls in the trash bags ready for their locker this week. They're pretty much done. Good win by Denver though. Interesting to see what happens with Russell Wilson this offseason though.
I'm not really gonna talk much about the game because there's more about to talk about the coaches. But I will tell you what, whoever takes over this team, the Chargers, is very interesting. This team is very talented from the top to the
Well,
bottom.
time out a minute. Time out. Now we just said Pittsburgh isn't that talented, but with the Chargers, they got a lot of people they're gonna have to cut this year because of the salary cap. They have a lot of
But
guys
they
that
got Herbert, man. They got a
yeah,
quarterback.
they had
They
Herbert
got
this year too.
Allen. So you're telling me you take George Pickens over Allen? You lie. You a damn liar.
Oh man, you put George Pickens in the right situation. Yes,
No, you
he's
said
younger.
are you taking Pickens or Allen right now?
I'll take Allen right now.
Okay,
But at
that's
the
it.
but at
So
the
when I
same
said
time,
it, that's my point. That's my point, Kendall.
the
Herbert,
Chargers have
Allen, and you got a running back.
an aging roster as well too. They're gonna have to get rid of some of these guys, man. You're gonna see this all season. They're gonna have to do some cuts
I'm
to
just saying.
get up on the salary cap.
You put Bill Belichick over there, you're gonna have some issues over there.
Well,
I'm just
Belichick don't like to pay nowhere, so he's gonna let them guys go or cut them or whatnot. So that Chargers job, I mean, I don't think it's a sexiest job as some of the other jobs out there because of the salary cap situation that they're in. They got a lot of guys they're gonna have to cut, restructure, to get rid of. I'm telling you, that Chargers team will look much different next year. Derwin James getting up their age, Khalil Mack. On the offense, you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Both of them, one of them at least probably won't be back. Eckler's a free agent. There are a lot of holes to fill in that Chargers team, man. They don't have the money to do it.
We'll definitely see. I think both of you are right on both sides. I mean, they still have some young players on there, and of course the quarterback. Kendall, I understand. I don't foresee Khalil Mack being there. Maybe perhaps cap casualties or whatnot. Packers defeat the Vikings 33-10. Do you think now Viking fans and the city of Minnesota or Twin City is appreciating what Kirk Cousins brings to his team?
Yeah, because they look a lot different the last couple months he's been out, man. They went from Dobbs to Nick Mullins to Jared Hall or whatever. I mean, like it's a mess going on at the quarterback. So I think that's probably one of their first priority this offseason to making Kirk Cousins had to get him back there. Even though he's probably not a long-term guy at this point, but he's still better than anything they got. He's a pretty good. I think he's still top 10, top 15 quarterback in the league. I think he's already peaked where he's going to be. Add some pieces, get that defense right. I think Minnesota will be right back in the thick of things, especially in the weak NFC conference with not a lot of top teams there. Green Bay looked real good. Jordan Love, man, I love this Green Bay team, man, for the future, man. They got some young wide receivers that I do like. Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs. They're about to get Christian Watson back this week. They go 3 or 4 deep at tight end. Aaron Jones looked like he got his feet back up in the running game. Offensive line, solid, man. Jordan Love, if they continue to build around Green Bay, can be the team for the next few years, man. They can make a run in the NFC, man. They've always drafted well. And they're gonna get some. They're gonna get. I think if they win and they beat Chicago this Sunday, if they beat Chicago, they get into the playoffs. So they can go. I think they can cause some problems.
What do you think?
I agree with the Packers, man. I think Jordan Love's the future. I think he's a really talented player. I just think they need to put a lot more around him for him to be successful. But yeah, the Vikings, man, it's one of those things. The Cowboys fans always, hey, Dak's got to go. But at the end of the day, man, who are you going to replace him with? And same thing with Kirk Cousins. Like, it's hard to find good. I'm saying good quarterbacks, not great in the lead. I'm just talking about good quarterbacks. And now you see what you are without Kirk Cousins, man. And then with a talented player like Justin Jefferson, you have to have somebody to throw the ball to him. So I think they kind of realize maybe it's a good thing for them to realize that they don't have him now, that they do miss him. So we'll see what happens. He is the free agent coming next year, so we'll see.
Then we got 2 Saturday games. Steelers at Ravens. Give me your prediction.
Oh, I forgot we got set. I don't know. I don't know what Baltimore's going to do, but I'm going to say Baltimore because I don't think they want to get swept by Pittsburgh. Man, Pittsburgh beat them earlier this year, and I think Baltimore played their start at least for a half. And then keep it. Baltimore has a good roster. They're deep. They always draft well. So I forgot the backup running back name. It's not hitting me right now. But the backup quarterback name. I think they can really. I think they can beat Pittsburgh with their backups in because they have a good roster, especially the backup quarterback. They're loaded there. So it's not just they're not top heavy.
Is it Huntley?
Huntley, yeah, that's him. Yeah, Huntley. I think they can beat Pittsburgh. Cause hell, Pittsburgh playing their backup quarterback. So it's kind of. If you look at it kind of matches up. Pittsburgh playing it's basically better than backup. I think Baltimore roster is slightly better than Pittsburgh. I think I'm gonna take Baltimore to win it.
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore, man. Baltimore's gonna win it.
And then Baltimore still got that preseason streak on. That tells you right there how good their roster is. So Baltimore, this not no cakewalk game with Pittsburgh, man. They playing with me. It's bad to back up. I think Baltimore roster a little bit better, man. I think Baltimore they ain't lost in the preseason. They don't know when. So that should tell you right there how low that roster. Huh?
They did lose.
No, I think they won. They won this year in the preseason. They didn't lose a game in the preseason this year.
They lost to Washington.
Baltimore in the preseason?
Yeah.
I think Baltimore won that.
Then we got the Texans and Colts. That's the other Saturday night game.
Texas are gonna win. They want to make the playoffs.
Texans at Colts.
I believe.
I'll take Texans.
Texans are gonna win. I think if they win, they get in depending on some help. They're gonna want to win this game.
Did you look up that game, Harvey?
I'm looking it up right now.
I believe Baltimore. I don't think they. I think they can. They can't.
The Buccaneers beat the Ravens in the finale, 26-20.
In the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
This past season.
I knew they lost.
Yeah, their streak.
Washington. I thought they played Washington in the preseason finale.
No, hold on. No, he's right. They haven't lost.
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, y'all gotta stop it, man. I'm about to say now. I know they played Washington at the end, and they have not lost in the preseason in years.
For whatever reason, I thought they lost.
Nope, they haven't lost. Because I remember they played Philly this past preseason too, and Philly almost had them.
That was the Buccaneers their first NFL the first game of the season?
They didn't play Tampa this year. Baltimore haven't played Tampa this year.
Hold on, they did. They lost to the Command. No, they didn't. They beat the Commanders, and they lost to. They haven't lost.
They haven't lost in the preseason in like 5 or 6 years. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think it was like 24 at the beginning of the year, right?
17-15 against the Commanders.
I thought they won like 20 straight preseason games or something like that.
20.
Yeah, I think they were up to 24 at the beginning of
That's crazy.
Yeah, 24 straight preseason games without a fail.
That's good drafting. That's development.
Never mind. Jerry's correct. They did lose against the Buccaneers.
What do I know?
26-20.
I think they even lost to the Commanders. Yeah, they even lost to the Commanders too.
They lost to the Commanders too. That's what I thought. Yeah, they lost to the Commanders.
29-28.
The second preseason game, they lost to the Commanders 29-28. And the third game, they lost 26-20.
This season.
Yes, this season. Yeah, they lost both preseason games at the end, second and third week of the preseason.
Okay, I see that. They lost to Tampa and Washington. Okay.
Yeah, and they beat the Eagles in preseason. And then they lost to those.
They lost their last two, basically. Okay.
Loyalty for Lactate says Cousins will be a Las Vegas Raider next year or Washington. We'll see. I don't think they wanted him in Washington. Whew. What a show! What a show!
Not with Aiden O'Connell.
What's that?
Not with O'Connell. I think he's the future.
Yeah, I think O'Donnell is the future there with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I remember that because the Commanders were celebrating like they. I remember that. I remember it. They were celebrating like they won a Super Bowl.
But no, it was still a very impressive streak. I think it's gonna be hard for anybody to come up close to that, but it just shows you, it's not always how you start, it's always how you finish. And I mean, they came into the preseason starting kind of iffy, but and even in the regular season, they were kind of iffy, but they got things turned around, especially with these second-year players and Zay Flowers. I know, Harv, that was one of your guys in the whole offseason that you were talking about. Zay
Yeah,
Flowers
man.
is as advertised. Isaiah Likely, that tight end, has been money for Lamar, and Lamar just doing Lamar things. YB.Benji on TikTok says it's gonna be Cowboys versus 49ers in the NFC Championship. Ooh, that would be exciting. Gentlemen, anything else before we sign off?
Nope, man. Get ready for it. Final week of the season, man.
I mean, you guys said it right. The two hottest teams, right? The two scariest teams were the Bills and the Rams, correct? So
Bills, right?
stay
Yeah.
away and focus on your team, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's it for us, man. We're out.
Keep it real.
Yes, sir.